Welcome to Filmwar. Let's cut the shit. This is a movie trivia game show podcast, whatever. So every second not spent playing movie games is a second wasted. There's only one rule. You may not say the word Goonies aloud at any point, or you risk losing all of your points to date. Tonight, we have two teams of contestants. In one corner, Team Bad Edits. Kris and Kyle, seasoned veterans, both toward the top of our season leaderboard. How art thou?
Good.
Whoa. Yeah. Gooey.
Careful there, Kyle. Kris.
Goon Squad.
Better know. Ooh.
Goobers.
Okay. In the other corner, Team Nickflix Scuttlebutt. Nick and Ro. Nick, you were the host of Nickflix, and Ro, you were the host of Scarif Scuttlebutt. Please tell us about your shows.
Go ahead, Ro.
Well, we talk about all sorts of nerdy things, heavy on Star Wars, obviously, because of the name, but just having fun, interacting with great folks like you all here, and looking forward to this.
And
Very
at
cool.
Nickflix, we just talk about movies, similar to Ro, but maybe less nerdy, but also more nerdy. So I don't know. But yeah, we just chat about movies. Shay, you were just on an episode I can't wait to drop in a few weeks. So
Yeah, a contestant, George, and I went on Nickflix, and we did create a movie draft, which was very interesting. Honestly, we need to get back together and play it again because I have more ideas now. I've been thinking about it
I feel
a
like
lot
this
more.
might be a semi like every quarter,
For sure.
do one of these episodes. It was fun. So
What?
Yeah,
Shay,
it
could
very
it be
was.
maybe you want to be a contestant and not a host?
This is the only way I get to play movie games on other shows. So please check out Nickflix, check out Scarif Scuttlebutt. Both shows are fantastic. This is Teamwar. Several teams have coalesced. Will be fighting each other via movie trivia games throughout the rest of our season in a single elimination tournament. Whoever wins our game tonight will not only advance to the next round, but will also have to split a copy of The Italian Job on VHS cassette. I don't care how you guys do it. You can break it in half. You can saw it in half, as long as you turn it into two distinct pieces.
just give me the rewound end, so I at least have the film on my side.
This game is called Genre Feud.
This is Genre Feud. I will name 3 films that fall under the same genre, and our teams will take turns guessing which film had the lowest budget, which film has the highest worldwide theatrical income, and which film has the highest average rating according to the users on Letterboxd.com. We're doing all 3. Only one member of each team gets the answer for each, so please decide who is going to be guessing the lowest budget from your team.
Kris.
What do you think? All right, why not?
All right, Kris will be choosing the budget from Team Bad Edits. What about from Team Nickflix Scuttlebutt?
What do you think, Ro? Do you want me to take budgets?
Yeah, you can go for it.
All right.
Let's see.
Okay, Kris and Nick are
It's
choosing
on.
budgets. And our first genre is
Can't read my eyes, Kris.
David Cronenberg movies. Here are 3 David
Yeah?
Cronenberg movies we'll be guessing from.
Huh.
From 1996, Crash. From 2005, History of Violence. And from 1986, The Fly. Which one of these films had the lowest budget, Kris?
I know about 2 of these and seen parts of one of them. I know Vigo there probably cost a lot of money in and of himself. Let's go with Crash.
All right, Kris is saying Crash had the lowest budget. Nick, what do you think?
You know what? I'm going to go with Kris because that was my thought too. Is it had to cost The Fly has to at least be the middle or the highest because of the practical effects, and Vigo at least got a decent paycheck. I would think in 05. So yeah, I'll go with Crash too.
All right, representatives from both teams are saying Crash from 1996 had the lowest budget, and both get a point. $9 million to make Crash,
Wow.
$15 million to make The Fly, and $32 million to make History of Violence.
Interesting. I thought 32 or History of Violence would be a little lower than that, but okay,
Right.
cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty small film, you'd think, but
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of action towards the end, so maybe that's what ate it all up. Yeah, Fly, $15 million. It seems like a pittance these days, but
1986
Even for the day,
$1986.
seems kind of small.
and these are not adjusted for inflation. So,
Okay.
all right, so Kyle and Ro, it's your turn.
All right.
At bat. Which one of these films brought in the most money worldwide? Let's start with Ro.
I'm going to say The Fly because of its popularity. It's kind of a little bit of a retelling of the original Fly, and people want to see it.
All right, Ro is saying The Fly brought in the most money. Kyle, what do you think?
Oh, well, I thought Crash was really popular when it came out. I'll go with that.
Okay. Kyle is disagreeing, saying Crash brought in the most money. Rose saying The Fly brought in the most money, and no points. History of Violence, $61 million that movie brought in worldwide.
Wow.
The Fly brought in
By one.
$60 million. It was within $1 million, the difference between these two films.
Wow.
And
That's a big
Crash
take.
brought in only $3 million.
wow, I was way off.
No points for either team that time. All right, now we're going to highest average rating according to the users on letterbox.com. Which movie is liked the most, basically? Everybody's going to get a chance to answer. Kyle, we'll start with you. Which one of these films have the highest average rating according to the users on letterbox.com?
I feel like Letterboxd users would appreciate The Fly. I'm going to go with The Fly.
All right, Kyle is saying The Fly. Ro, what do you think?
I think because of the star power, we've got a lot of good names in History of Violence, and I think that's going to take it for the win.
All right, Ro is saying History of Violence. Nick, do you agree with him?
I don't know. I either double down on my partner, but because I'm thinking the same thing. But oh man,
You can think strategically as well.
yes. You know what? I will also go with The Fly, just in case.
All right, Nick disagreeing with his partner and
I'm
saying
sorry,
The
Ro,
Fly.
but I think you might be right. We'll see.
Go with your heart.
And Chris, what do
Always
you
go with
think?
your heart. I'm going to go with The Fly because it got a sequel.
Yeah, very true. Good logic.
Let's
Okay,
see.
Chris, Kyle, and Nick are all saying The Fly. Ro is saying History of Violence, and Kyle, Chris, and Nick all get a point. 4.0
Alright.
stars for The
close,
Fly
though.
on
Look at that.
Letterboxd. 3.7 for both other films. So everybody gets a point except for Ro.
Womp womp.
Our next genre is bank robbery movies. Here are 3 bank robbery films for you. From 2010, The Town. From 2001, Bandits.
Hell?
And from 1991, Point Break.
Hmm.
Nick, which one of these films had the lowest budget?
Oh man. The Town has too much star power. Bandits has a big star in it with Bruce Willis when he was still super popular. But Point Break too. Oh man, I'm gonna go with Bandits because it's the smallest of the 3. I feel like shooting and all the surfing stuff, and I don't know, something about Patrick Swayze probably was making decent money too. So I'll say the Bandits, but not by much.
All right, Nick is saying Bandits had the lowest budget. And Chris, what do you think?
You know, I've only seen one of the 3 of these, but given what I know about what it looked like and some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, I'm going to go with Point Break.
All right, Chris is saying Point Break had the lowest budget. Nick is saying Bandits had the lowest budget, and the answer is Point Break. $24 million it took to make Point Break.
My God,
$37 million.
Bandits was $75 million.
Bandits was
Jesus.
$75 million. And where was it? Someone needs to check it. Someone needs to audit that movie because there's no
Like,
way.
if you would have told me you switched The Town with Bandits
Right,
budget,
yeah,
I'd be like, oh yeah,
accidentally.
because The
Yeah, yeah.
Town had a huge cast in that.
For sure. Yeah. And good action scenes, everything
Yeah,
like that.
really good.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah, and
that's
Bandits is
insane.
there's a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
You'd think it would
Sorry,
cost that
Ro.
much,
I
but-
didn't want to go with Point Break just because it's the oldest, but that makes a lot of sense. They way
Yeah.
overspent on Bandits.
Sometime I try to use your logic
Dang.
against you.
Yeah.
So
I know.
keep that in mind. Chris gets a point for his team by saying Point Break had the lowest budget. All right, now we're going to highest worldwide income. Ro, let's start with you. Which one of these films brought in the most money?
Oh man. Up until today, I don't remember even knowing about Bandits, so I'm gonna kind of put that under the rug. The Town was pretty good. I remember that film, but I think Point Break was more widely accepted. Even after 1991, I think people started to discover it. Patrick Swayze, Keanu Reeves. I'm going to go with Point Break.
All right, Ro is saying Point Break brought in the most money worldwide. And Kyle, what do you think?
I think The Town.
All right, Kyle is disagreeing and saying The Town brought in the most money. Ro is saying Point Break brought in the most money. And the answer is The Town. $154 million that movie brought in.
Look at that.
$84 million from Point Break, which is pretty reasonable for 1991 for what the film is, and
yeah.
$68 million for Bandits, which means it didn't
Wow,
even come close to making its money back.
The Town had turned a huge budget, like a huge profit then.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't get a sequel or something like that.
The
That
Town
seems like a
2.
film that would be primed for.
The City.
Yeah,
The City.
The City.
Can't you see like a direct to DVD sequel for The Town?
Right.
But
The
I assume
suburbs.
Ben
Right,
Affleck's
the
up.
suburbs. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
third
there
one,
you
and the
go.
third one's always the worst one in all the
Right.
trilogies. So
Yeah. All right, guys. Highest rating according to views on letterbox.com. What are we thinking, Nick?
I'm going to go with The Town.
Nick is saying The Town.
I think that's got the highest.
Kyle, what do you say?
I'm gonna go with Point Break. Classic movie. Seems like people would be into it.
Kyle's saying Point Break. Chris, what do you say?
I was gonna go with Point Break, but the amount of money the town pulled in, I'm gonna go with that one.
All right, Chris is saying The Town, and Roe, what do you think?
The Point Break is pulling me over there, but I'm also going to say The Town.
Okay, wow. There's a lot of people are saying The Town, and the answer is, of course, Point Break. 3.7 stars according to these on Letterboxd.
Should have let it pull you over there, Ro.
Yeah, I felt-
3.6 for Town,
Yeah.
so it's right there. It's so
There was
close.
a tremor in the force.
Sorry about
I
going
knew it.
against you, Kyle.
And
It's all right, Chris.
Bandits 3.1.
Forgive you someday.
I like how no one even contemplated Bandits.
I know,
for sure.
right?
Possibly
Yeah.
could
Well, like
be.
Roe hadn't even heard of it, So yeah, I think even having that information that even Roe hasn't heard of it, who does some movie nerd
Right.
podcast, yeah, nobody knows what
even
that
the-
is. I
like
like it. It's a good
the-
film.
I don't know. To me, even the movie poster just doesn't scream,
Right.
"Come watch this." It looks
Mm.
bad.
But yeah. So how much of the $75 billion do you think they spent on the poster then?
Right.
How much did they
Probably
spend
not
on the
much.
coke that went around the cast?
Wow, Chris coming out hard on Bruce Willis, who's having troubles.
No,
Okay.
I wasn't saying this is early Bruce Willis. I would never say anything about what he's going through now.
Oh,
You know what? For
sure,
that, you
for
should get deducted a point. Come on.
Hey, now, hey, whose show is this?
You're right. Sorry.
We have one more genre in Genre Feud, and that genre is Jason Momoa movies.
Oh boy.
He's got a birthday coming up.
Damn.
And
bro,
here are
we need
three
to- we
films
need to go
Jason Momoa was
gangbusters
in.
here, man.
Conan from 2011, The Lego Movie 2 from 2019, and Fast X from 2023. One of these films had a lower budget than the others. Which one was it, Nick?
Oh God. I'm gonna go Conan only because he wasn't no one's a star in that movie, and Lego Movie 2, that movie made so much money that I feel like that budget was probably huge for an animated film, and Fast and the Furious spend like $1 billion to make their movie just to win it all back. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Conan.
All right,
Though not
Nick is
confident now.
Nick seemed confident in saying
I did
Conan.
until now. I'm because we're on such a bad streak right now. I'm like, watch, it's gonna be like Lego Movie, but I'll go with Conan.
Okay, Chris, what do you think?
You know what? I'm gonna go with Nick. I'm gonna go with Conan.
Okay, both of our teams are saying Conan from 2011 had the lowest budget of these three films. They both get a point for it. $90 million to make that movie. 99 to make Lego Movie 2,
million
and
for
340 million American dollars to make
wow.
Fast X.
Yeah, and
So
that's
money
just
well
in
spent.
the Shine budget for the bald head.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
For sure.
Body
Yeah,
lotion.
it's a bald movie. A lot of bald
actually,
people in the
I
movie.
can't believe Lego Movie 2 is under 100 million.
For sure,
I'm actually
yeah.
surprised by that.
Yeah. I assume they knew they could probably cheap out on it and still
Yeah.
get make a lot of money. But that is the question here. Ro and Kyle, which one of these films brought in the most money? Let's start with Kyle.
I'm gonna go with a audible here. I'll go with the Lego Movie.
Kyle is saying Lego Movie 2 brought in the most money. Ro, what do you think?
I'm going to agree. The Lego movies are very popular with families, and based on the budget, I think the line is pretty up there. So I'm going to go with the Lego Movie 2.
Okay. Both of our teams are saying the Lego Movie 2 brought in the most money, and you should have listened to what Nick said because they do always make their money back.
Yeah,
$705
Ro, I
million
couldn't tell you, Ro, but I'm like,
Fast
no,
X
just
brought in.
go with. Now, what's funny is it's still considered not a hit because
Yeah,
of
no,
how
yes.
much they spent. They needed to make
sure.
like a billion. But yeah, I was like, Ro, no, go Fast X.
$200
okay,
million
no one
Lego
got it.
Movie 2
I've
brought
never
in.
seen a Fast and Furious 2.
That's
so
all right.
Oh wow, we were just talking about him in our group chat today. I'm a big fan. Some people aren't. And I understand both sides, So
Yeah, they know their lane.
yeah,
they know
they're
having
fun. They're
Yeah.
fun. If I want to go, there's no chance that I'm going to be disappointed going to that theater
Dude.
if I'm turning my brain off.
I'm
and that's
honestly,
how I look at it.
I'm surprised Conan made $64 million.
$64 million
Conan
Conan brought in. Yeah, lost a lot of money, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it was in 3D, so you'd think that would inflate the numbers a little bit, but
Yeah.
nope. Okay, one of these films has a higher average rating according to the users on Letterboxd.com. Let's start with Chris.
I was gonna go with the Lego Movie, but given the trend here, I'm gonna pick Fast X.
Chris is saying Fast X has the highest average rating. Kyle, what do you think?
I'm gonna go with the Lego Movie. I think.
Kyle's saying Lego Movie 2 had the highest average rating when used on Letterboxd.com. Nick, what do you think?
God, damn. I'll go with the Lego Movie 2 also.
Nick is also
I'm
agreeing.
just not confident.
Nick is saying the Lego Movie 2. Ro, what do you
Shit,
think?
The Lego Movie 2
I'm gonna go with Fast X because what the f?
Yeah. If it's Conan,
Watch
I
it
am
be
gonna
Conan,
like, this-
yeah.
yeah.
I've got bad news. It was coded. No, I'm sorry. It was the Lego Movie 2.
I gotta disconnect
3.1 stars for Lego
Ah.
Movie 2.
See, I think the Lego Movie fans would be more generous to their
To
rating.
then the Fast
Yeah.
X,
Mm.
yeah.
than
I
the-
think this
true.
is the lowest rating for any of the Fast X movies. I think Too Fast, Too Furious might be worse, but and then 2.2 for Conan.
What are Fast and Furious? What are they at now? 12.
Like, this
20?
Fast X is the last one so far.
Ah.
They're making more.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Gotta keep beating that horse.
Hey, it's all about the family.
If they're making hundreds of millions of dollars, they're going to keep making them
Yeah,
until
that's
they're,
true.
they're
That's
not
true.
making hundreds of millions of dollars. All right, at the end of Genre Feud, Team Bad Edits has 8 points. Team Nickflix Scuttlebutt has 4.
Home
All
court
right, bro, we
advantage.
gotta make it up here.
Yeah, got a long road to go,
Decisive.
gentlemen, but I believe in you.
Thanks, Coach.
This game is called Stat Check.
This is Stat Check. We'll be discussing an element of a film that has a numeric value. I will set a betting line, and you will guess if the true number is above or below that set number. Each team will give me one united answer, so there has to be some sort of consensus between the team members. Our first stat check for tonight is how many Tim Burton directed films has Johnny Depp been in?
Oh.
I'm setting that number at 7 films. Do you think the true number of films is higher or lower than 7? Let's start with Team Nickflix Scuttlebutt.
All right, we can't count out loud, Ro, so I'm trying to count in my head really quick. 'Cause I know we have, it has to be fast. That honestly, how I'm thinking of it, Ro, is that such a high number. So if it's,
I'm with
just
you.
asking for clarification. If it is 7 and we pick the under, is it
It's
a push?
it's not 7. It's never the
Okay.
number that I say.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
it's
So-
a number
okay,
so
above
it's-
or below. it.
Got it. So either above or below. I think it's more like 6. I don't think it's quite 7 because I'm just trying to think of like they haven't done as many movies. I think as maybe we think they have. So I think they're at like 6. So I think we should go under. That's
So do
what
we
I'm
have
thinking.
No,
we
you don't have to guess the true number. You just
No,
have
we
to
just
say
have
to
more or less.
pick if it's over or under 7.
Yeah, I would say lower.
Yeah,
Lower. For
but I think
sure.
it's like 6. I think it's pretty high up.
Mhm.
Okay, Nick and Ro are saying it's lower. What does Team Bad Edits think? I know you're counting in your head.
Yeah, I'm trying to. That's for sure.
I think Shay's logic here is that he thinks that we're going to say lower, but it's actually higher. That's what I'm thinking.
I
think
am
higher?
simply presenting a question, sir. There's don't Kyle. You have a bad habit on this show of overthinking me specifically in terms of questions.
Yeah, I just think, what would Shay want me to put?
Yeah, right. Yes,
He wants you to think that you're somehow thinking the wrong thing, but thinking the right thing, and that you're
Right.
going to overthink it and be lost in it.
Yes, Kyle. I've always done 5 more layers of logic than what you think.
I know that too. And
I'm an
that's
onion,
what's
brother.
That's what's so hard about it. I'm going to say over, but Chris, what do you think?
I'm torn because I think it's one of these. I'm kind of feeling what they were thinking, that it might actually be not as many as we think it is. Because Tim Burton's done about 1 billion movies, but Johnny Depp hasn't been in every single one of them.
No, he hasn't. I need an
All
answer.
right, we'll
gentlemen.
go with under.
Okay. Are you?
Yeah,
way
I
we
agree.
can
I think
at least-
I think it's under.
It's 0 points or nothing.
That's
Yeah,
right.
for sure. That's a good
0
logical
or
move.
nothing.
Both teams are saying that the true number is under 7 films and no points, 8 films.
Oh, what the
Yeah.
hell?
Edward
Which one
you
did I
know
miss?
what? When I was doing the counting, I wasn't thinking of Corpse
Oh.
Bride and Dark Shadows because he directed both of those.
Yes, he did.
Right.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, Edward Scissorhands, Ed Wood, Sleepy Hollow, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Corpse Bride, Sweeney Todd, Dark Shadows, and Alice in Wonderland.
Man, we're
8
big
films.
losers now.
Yeah.
All right, no points for the first stat check, but there's still 2 more to go, so let's get on with it. Our second stat check is How many years did Cameron Poe spend in prison in Con Air from 1997? I'm setting that number at 5 years. Do you think he spent more than 5 years or less than 5 years? I am not asking his sentence. I'm asking how much time he actually spent in prison. Let's start with Team Bad Edge. You'll go first. Do you think the true number is higher than 5 years or lower than 5 years?
This is a shot in the dark for me, Kyle.
And remember, Italian Job is on the line.
Yeah, I really need to see that movie.
Well,
I'll
part
go
of
with-
it at least.
I want to go with higher
Did you see this one, Kyle?
because the last one was the unbelievable. The last question that Shay did was the unbelievable answer. Now he's going to do the believable answer.
He's overthinking again.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll go with you on this one, Kyle.
All right.
All right, Team Bad Edits is saying it's over. What does Team Nickflix Scuttlebutt think?
What do you think,
Nick?
Ro? Oh, here's the thing. We need points.
Right.
So
I'll go with what you say because
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of Nicolas Cage.
Oh,
know.
no.
and,
And I don't
now,
remember
let's
this
not,
movie at all.
Yeah, let's not hold it against my team, Shay.
It was
That's
nice having you
okay.
on the show.
Yeah, he didn't mention the G word. It's okay. We're not. Why don't we do? Let's go under. I bet you it's like he was in prison for like 3 years or something with a big sentence
Should
before
be
he
4.5.
gets out. Or 4.5. Yeah, it's gonna be something like that. So let's just go
It's a
under.
tr-
just
it's
to
a
try
whole
to
number,
get the
I'll say
points. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What do you think, Ro? You good with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So Team Bad Eds is going over. Team Nickflix Scuttlebutt is going under. And the true answer is 8 years.
Yes.
Team Bad Eds gets
Wow,
over.
it
Keep
was
going,
back
Kyle.
to back
Keep going.
8. Dang.
I'm
I
in
never
Shay's
doubted
head
you.
now. I'm on
Yeah. All right, Kyle, let's get to the third one because I want to see how well you do with this one. Our third stat check is how many times do they say the word fuck in South Park Bigger, Longer,
my
and Uncut
God.
from 1999? I'm setting that betting line at 250 fucks.
Wow.
Kyle, do you think it's higher or lower than 250 fucks?
Well, me and Chris, right?
No, I'm
Yeah.
asking you. Chris, hold on a second.
Oh,
Well, I think it's higher because you don't want to do a pattern of unbelievable, believable, unbelievable. So I'm doing higher.
Chris, do you agree with the man?
I was thinking this was actually a bit of a red herring, and that it's definitely believable that it would have like a million different fuck bombs in the movie. That it might actually be surprisingly lower, like just.
Hmm.
So what do we do,
Well,
Kyle?
Yeah, there's logic on both sides, gentlemen. I need an answer, though.
Well, Chris, we'll go with yours, even though we know what mine is.
So you guys are going less? There's less than 250?
Yeah, we'll go with less.
Okay.
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 Team Badass is saying less. What does Team Nickflix Scuttlebutt think?
Wow, this is a good one. So the movie is 88 minutes long, I think, somewhere in there. And it would take a little longer. It would take 94 minutes to say fuck from beginning to end more than 250 times. So I don't think that is realistic. Of course, I'm making up all of these numbers and this logic just to sound a little
You're
more.
close.
you
I mean,
know
you're pretty
educated.
close. Yeah.
You know what, Ro? Let's go under because they don't say fuck for like the first 10 minutes of that movie.
Okay.
But then they do say fuck a lot in the song, especially
Yeah.
when they
That's
say
how
you
I
shouldn't say
think
fuck.
of the song.
But 250 is a lot, and I think
Yeah, right?
Casino is the most at like low 200s, I think. So yeah, let's go under too. But I bet you it's going to be a ton.
All right.
So both teams are saying there's less than 250 fucks in South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, and both teams get a point.
Wow.
146
Oh, that's a lot less.
fucks in that
Okay,
movie.
good.
Fuck yeah.
That's still a lot of fucks.
All right.
That is a lot.
Way to go, Chris.
That's right.
Chris, damn it, you should have listened to Kyle first.
Yeah.
No, I feel pretty good about my choice, actually,
Yeah.
Nick.
That was good. That was good.
All right. At the end of Stat Check, Chris and Kyle still in the lead, 10 points. Nick and Ro, 5 points.
This game is called Soundtrack Blues.
This is Soundtrack Blues. We had a lot of fun talking composers when George and I appeared on Nick's podcast, so I figured I would bring back an old game of ours. I will name a famous composer in 3 films they composed, but one of them is a bluff. You tell me which one of the 3 films that person did not compose, and you will add a point to your team's total. I'll be asking everyone for an answer for each question. Our first composer Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. We talked a lot about this pair on Nick's podcast, and I implore you to go listen to our episode and all of his episodes. Here are 3 films that they may or may not have composed. Ex Machina from 2014, Soul from 2020, and Patriots Day from 2016. What is your logic telling you, Nickflix Scuttlebutt? Let's start with Nick.
Oh God. Damn. I don't think they did Soul, but I've also never seen Patriots Day. I remember the trailer a lot, but I don't. Jesus. I'd say one of these things is not like the other. None of these movies are alike at all. So it's I don't think they did Soul. I don't.
Go with your heart, Nick. Go with your
Thanks. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I'll go with Soul, I guess. Though I'm not confident in it.
All right, Nick is saying they did not compose Soul. Kyle, what do you think?
This is tough because these composers can do completely different movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just guess Patriots Day.
Okay, Kyle is saying Patriots Day. Chris, what do you think?
I'm going to follow Nick's lead. I don't think it was Soul.
Okay, Chris
Having-
agreeing with Nick from the other team, saying Soul was not composed by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. And Roe, final answer. Which one do you think it is?
I'm going to go with Soul 2020 there.
Okay, so everyone besides Kyle is saying Soul. Kyle is saying Patriots Day, and no points. Ex Machina was composed by Jeff Barrow and Ben Salisbury.
Wow.
Damn.
They did
Okay.
Soul?
They did Soul and they did Patriots
Oh, my
Day.
goodness.
The music's beautiful in that movie, but I
It is.
was like, I didn't. So they did Patriots Day, okay. Patriots Day felt like the MacGuffin though, where it's like,
Right,
I thought Ro, you were gonna go with that, and I'm like, oh good, well one of us will get it then.
right. Yeah, nope. No
We
luck
all
there.
It was no one.
Our next composer for Soundtrack Blues is a person I'm sure we're all familiar with, John Williams. One
Who's
of the
that?
best.
I think I've heard of this guy.
Yeah, right. Look at him there, just staring into your soul, looking like Dick Cheney with a beard. All right, here are 3 films he may or may not have composed: Memoirs of a Geisha from 2005, Oliver Stone's Nixon from 1995, and Donnie Brasco from 1997. He composed 2 of these films, but not the third. Which is the one that he did not compose, Ro?
I'm going to go with Donnie Brasco.
Ro is saying Donnie Brasco with confidence, it seems. Chris, what do you think?
I'm feeling Donnie Brasco too.
Chris agreeing. Donnie Brasco. Nick, what do you think?
I'm gonna go with the Fugazi, Donnie Brasco as well.
Nick agreeing with his partner, saying Donnie Brasco. And Kyle, what do you think?
I'm a huge fan of the film. I read the book. Donnie Brasco.
Okay. All of our contestants are saying the same film. Donnie Brasco was not composed by John Williams, and they all get a point for it.
Yeah.
Donnie Brasco was composed by Patrick Doyle.
So apparently
So,
it's Brasco, not Brasco, but Brasco.
Brasco. I'm sorry. I'm not good at that whole
Very
pronunciation
underrated movie
names.
from the 90s.
Yeah, it's kind of still a sleeper. I don't think it
Yeah.
still gets its due even to this day.
Was it like a gangster movie?
It is.
Oh
yeah.
it's one of the
So
best
it's-
ones, I think.
Is it?
It's a pretty
Al
good one, and I
Pacino's
think
in
it's
it.
based on a true story. I
True
believe.
story,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right, we have one more composer for Soundtrack Blues, and it was the man that I chose in Nick's episode, Danny Elfman. Here are 3
one of my
films that Danny
favorites.
Elfman may or may not have composed. Notorious from 2009, which is the Notorious B.I.G. biopic. Hulk, Ang Lee's Hulk from 2003, or A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, the Mr. Rogers biopic from 2019. One of these films is a bluff. Which is the bluff, Kyle?
This is hard. Danny Elfman does so much wacky stuff. I really gonna have to guess. I'll say Hulk.
Okay, Kyle is saying Hulk was not composed by Danny Elfman. Nick, what do you think?
Ah, man. I'm gonna say. I feel like Notorious is the MacGuffin. I'm gonna say Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
All right, Nick is saying A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood was not composed by Danny Elfman. Ro, what do you think?
Oh man, it's for me. It's a toss up between Hulk and Notorious, but I'm gonna go with Notorious because I have a feeling Hulk was Silvestri, but let's go with Notorious.
And this is Ang Lee's Hulk, so
Yes, this is Ang Lee's Hulk.
Yeah,
Ro is saying. I'm sorry, you said Notorious?
Notorious.
Okay, Ro is saying Notorious, and Chris, last answer. What do you say?
Well, none of them are Tim Burton films, who Danny Elfman's his favorite composer.
Kind of been a gimme, right?
Right, yeah. You know what? I'm going to go with, because he tends to do the genre, but I think Hulk is actually a red herring, so I'm going to go with Hulk.
All right, Chris is saying Hulk, and the true answer is A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, which was
All
composed by
right, you get a
Nate Heller.
point.
So
Good.
Nick has another point to his total.
Huh. I would have figured that'd been
Yeah, he
something.
did
I just
Notorious.
Notorious. I couldn't. I'm like, that feels like again the like, hey, you wouldn't think he would do
Right.
Notorious, the Biggie, the Biggie Smalls biopic,
Right.
but that's also so random that he did.
In like 2008, he probably just had like a free week, and they're like, "Hey, you can make $100,000 this week if you want to do this." He was like, "Yeah, fuck it, send it to me." And he did it.
If you follow Danny Elfman on like social media, he'll make music videos of metal music, all sorts of music.
Right? Yeah. He's a very,
Versatile.
He's an eccentric
That
guy,
is
and he's a
cool.
fantastic composer.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Did the
All right.
Simpsons.
Right.
at the end of Soundtrack Blues, Team Bad Eds has 12 points. Team Nickflix Scuttlebutt has 8. So closing the gap a little bit.
This game is called The Pitch.
This is the pitch. I will need one member from each team to step forward and give the name of a brand new movie. Their teammate must then pitch a plot that would match that title. I will judge the pitches and award up to 5 points to each team. So let's start with Team Bad Ed, since you guys are the veterans here. Who is going to choose the title and who is going to pitch the movie?
Kyle, I feel like you'd be better with the pitch part.
That works for me.
Okay.
So I got to
all
come
right.
up with the title then.
So Kyle is going to pitch the movie, and Chris is going to give him the title of his new film. It can't be any current movie title. It has to be a brand new invention of a movie title.
Yesterday's Tomorrow.
Yesterday's Tomorrow is the name of Kyle's film, and take it away, buddy.
There was a little girl named Yesterday, and she was very lonely, and no one would be her friend. So she just bought a dog at the store and named it Tomorrow. And Yesterday and Tomorrow went around doing good things for people, but then they got in some trouble with some bureaucrats, and they were sent to prison, and then there was a whole uprising protest to get them out of prison, and the protest worked. They were released, but she remembered that Yesterday, Tomorrow was a happier dog before everything happened. So, the end.
Okay. Any cast members you'd like to throw there? Who you gonna have star in it?
Zendaya.
Zendaya would be the lead. That's perfect.
So okay. So wait a minute. If the lead, I think, from my understanding of it, is the dog.
Well, the dog is played by Willem Dafoe.
Okay. Okay. So Willem Dafoe plays the dog. Is he? Is it just the voice? And I urge you to think about it before you answer. Is it just the voice, or is he on all fours?
It's the voice, but he does the computer.
So
shit
it's
on
his
the-
face.
Oh,
It's his
I
face.
was seeing him
Green
like
Goblin.
actually in a costume on all fours with that
It's like, hello,
smile.
yesterday.
Okay, what kind of dog is it?
It's Beagle.
Okay, so it's Beagle Willem Dafoe being led around by human Zendaya, who is. You said she was a child?
She was a little girl, but she's probably like 18.
The
Okay,
de-aged
all right.
I need to go
Zendaya.
walkies.
Right. Okay. Any other cast members you like to throw in? Anything else you want to throw into it to make this pitch a little better?
Oh, it's claymation.
Okay. All right. That's Team Bad Dead. It's Yesterday's Tomorrow. I'm gonna give that 4 points.
All right, thanks.
Came to play.
Claymation
All right,
dog Willem Dafoe.
It's good. Yeah. If if it had been any
Is
other
it
actor,
is it Willem Dafoe like human face though on the dog? Where
That's
it
what
clearly
I'm
looks
picturing.
I think
It's like
claymation?
he's got, like floppy ears, but just a makeup, kind of like Barf from Spaceballs. But
yeah. Even claymation, Willem Dafoe's face is going to just be so wondrous to watch.
Yeah.
Do things,
A lot of
pick up
wrinkles.
sticks, eat dog food, chase rabbits. That's just gonna. I
eat
can't
the
wait to see
rabbits.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Team Nickflix Scuttlebutt. Now you see how the game is played. Who wants to come up with the title and who wants to pitch the movie?
I can do a title.
All right, I'll pitch it.
All right.
All right. In a world. No, it's let's go with Life, Death, and In Between.
Wow. Very good title.
Deep, man.
So,
Death,
Nick,
and In
I want to
Between.
hear a new film that will fit the title Life, Death,
Life,
and In
Death,
Between.
and In Between.
Life, death, and in between. Okay.
Starring Zendaya.
Just getting around.
All right. We have played by Doc Brown himself, Christopher Lloyd, as an old man on his deathbed, surrounded by his family, and they ask him, "Grandpa, what was your life like?" And he goes into the story of how he met their grandmother, which is a young Tom Holland and Zendaya. No, I'm kidding. That's not that. No, but he gets into the stories about how he met their grandma. It's all about his life. And then he blacks out one day and wakes up, and he's much older. And he wants to know what happened in the in-between with his wife while he's been unconscious. So it's a story within a story. It would jump kind of all over the place, so it's definitely a thinker. The music by Michael Giacchino would be great. So it'd have a great score. It would star the up-and-coming Austin Butler
Okay.
playing the younger version, with then Christopher Lloyd as the old, and the somewhat in the middle would be like a Tom Hanks. Well, it would be Tom Hanks. So you'd have a huge cast. They don't have to quite look alike, but it'd be one of those movies that little artsy, but have this nice message of appreciating being in the moment. So it's all about his life, his death, and the in-between that he missed out in his life.
Okay, so when he's telling the story as an older gentleman, has his wife has passed at that point?
No, so she's still there. But
Okay.
they're much older, and so he first tells his story of how they met. And then she kind of takes over with here's what happened when Grandpa was
Okay.
just blacked out.
All right, so who would you cast as the different iterations of her then?
So as the different iterations, I would start with someone like I would go with, because she's still pretty young. Man, I would have now I'm blanking on her name. Hold on, sorry. Like a Emma Thompson type, like probably her,
Okay.
like someone
Yeah,
who
yeah.
could look like about the same age as Austin Butler, like young enough where they still could play like late 20s, early 30s, as they kind of meet. And then as they get older, I would have like a Julia Roberts as like the middle portion when she's kind of older and like the Tom Hanks age. Plus, you'd be doing some fun pairings because Roberts and Hanks have only been in like one other movie together.
Larry
think
Crown, I
they'd be
believe.
yeah, it's Larry Crown. Or no, it was Charlie Wilson's War.
Oh,
too.
Charlie, yeah,
So
you're
two
right,
movies.
you're
Yeah,
right.
so I think they would have like a good chemistry. It'd be like a fun role to see the two of them play. And then old, this is hard. So I would probably go with Helen Mirren as like old, because you need someone who
Star-studded.
could look. Yeah, I know. Oh, it's a star-studded, but none of them are in the movie that long because
Right.
it's taken place through these different iterations. The grandkids are just no names. The cast is really the two characters and the different iterations. Otherwise, the rest of the cast is kind of like nobodies.
I really like the idea of showing a relationship at its different stages and showing them through different actors. It has a tinge of the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus in that it's the same character being portrayed by many different people, and I like that. I'm going to give you 4 points, and one of those points is just because you named a composer, Michael
Nice.
Giacchino.
Yeah.
So good job with that. Both of our
All right.
teams both got 4 points for this one. Which means that the score after the pitch isn't much different than where we went into it. 16 for Kris and Kyle and 12 for Nick and Roe. We're going into our final game, which Each team can get 6 points. So
I gotta
Still-
say, before we move on, I liked the Christopher Lloyd as the
yeah,
old guy. That was I could see that.
I
really
don't see
that.
the Tom Hanks to Christopher.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I just
that's-
realized. I realized once I picked Christopher Lloyd, I was like, "Damn, who kind of looks like him?" And I'm
Right.
like,
Like
I think it
nobody.
was the
Austin
poster
Butler,
scene.
though, I
Yeah.
can see that. Yeah,
Yeah, and I was like, "Damn, who could be a mix between Butler and Christopher Lloyd?" But
Yeah,
I would love
yeah.
to see. Like, I just love Christopher Lloyd, so yeah, we'll make it work.
that's also a good way, like you said, where it's a pairing. Like you
Yeah.
get to have Tom Hanks and Julia Roberts together again, and that's cool. Like having those little pairings and everything like that. Yeah, that's why you got 4 points, buddy.
Thank you, thank you.
All right,
Good
we're going
title too, Ro. I didn't know where to go with it at first. I'm like, I gotta start with death.
Yeah, you could go sci. I think both of the titles really were leaning towards a sci-fi lean, maybe to me, but neither of you guys went that way. You guys went more human interest stories, which is incredible. That's what we like on this show. No, that's
They're
sci-fi
poetic
bullshit.
titles.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Mine
yeah.
was just a Star Trek episode reversed.
This game is called Multiverse Theater.
All right, this is our last game. This is Multiverse Theater. I will name a director and 3 projects they were set to direct at one time, but the project fell through before the film could be made. 2 of those projects are true, bona fide, unrealized projects, but one of them is fake. If you can tell me which project was never considered, you will add a point to your team's total. Everyone gets to answer. Our first director, David Fincher. He has a whole shit ton of unrealized projects. Here are
Yeah.
2 of them and 1 fake one. A movie based on the Black Dahlia murder, the film Jack, which was eventually directed by Francis Ford Coppola, and a remake of Heavy Metal from 1981. He considered 2 of these projects, but not the third. Ro, what do you think? Which one did he not consider?
I'm gonna go with Jack. I think the other 2 are very. I can see Fincher being attached or wanting to be attached to these other things. So I'm gonna go with Jack.
All right. Ro saying Jack was never considered by Fincher. Nick, what do you think?
See, this is tough because Heavy Metal's from the 80s and Fincher didn't get his start, I don't think, by the time Heavy Metal came out.
Well, it would have been a remake.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true. Okay, so, oh my God. I cannot believe I forgot that Francis Ford Coppola directed Jack. I
Yeah.
actually enjoy that movie, but Ro, I'll go with you, I guess, Ro, on this because it does seem so out of left field. But why not? We gotta try to shoot for points here. So okay, I'll go with my partner on this. I'll go with Jack.
All right. Ro and Nick are both saying Jack was not a project David Fincher was ever thought of or considered for. Chris, what do you think?
I think I'm also gonna go with Jack actually.
All right. Chris is agreeing with the other team and saying Jack was not a project David Fincher was ever considered for. Kyle, what do you think?
Let's just go with Jack.
Okay, everybody is saying that Jack was not a project that David Fincher ever considered, and
No.
you saw right through me, gentlemen. Everybody gets a
All
point.
right.
Jack was not a project he ever considered.
Okay.
He did think about making a Black Dahlia movie, but then eventually, I can't remember who made that one. Tony Scott? No, maybe not.
You know what makes sense though too? If Coppola directed Jack, the studio ain't going to someone else first. That feels like they would probably go to him directly or
Mhm.
like another big name because Jack came out in like the early 90s. I don't
96,
think Fincher.
yeah.
So Fincher would have been, I don't know, that would have seemed way out of left field to ask him.
Okay. And yeah, he's wanted to make a remake of Heavy Metal for many years. I don't know if it would be animated or not, but yeah.
It needs to not be made.
All right, our next director is someone you've all heard of, Steven Spielberg. Also a man with a lot of unrealized projects. Here are 2 of them and a fake one. An adaptation of Stephen King's novella The Body, which eventually became Stand By Me, the film Three Amigos, or an adaptation of William Steig's Shrek, which eventually became DreamWorks Shrek. 2 of these projects were real projects he considered and thought about making. One of them was not. Which one was not, Kyle?
Ooh, I don't think Spielberg would do Three Amigos.
Okay,
I'll go with
Kyle's saying Three Amigos is not a project he thought about. Chris, what do you think?
I'm gonna agree with Kyle. I don't think Three Amigos. It doesn't feel like him.
Okay, both members of Team Badass are saying Three Amigos. What does Nick think?
Here's the thing: if we go with the other team, then we're still where we're at. So we have to go something else because it's a points game now. We don't have enough questions to make up. So I'll say the body because, though, oh god, does he stand by? Fuck, because I know he always wanted to make a western, and I feel like I could have seen them pitch Three Amigos to him, and him being like, I don't want to do a comedy again.
He made a lot of weird movies in the 80s.
Yeah. God. Screw it. I'll just go Three Amigos. We'll leave it up to Ro if he wants to go.
All right. Nick is saying Three Amigos, agreeing with both members of the other team. Ro, what do you think? You're the last answer on this question.
You know, it's a consensus. I'm going to have to say the Three Amigos, even if, I mean,
yeah,
it's Three Amigos. This is such a bad red herring. I feel.
All members of both teams are saying Three Amigos was not a project Steven Spielberg ever considered, and he was considered for it.
Damn it!
And Shrek.
Should have went with that.
He never considered making Stand By Me, basically. So there you go. No point.
What? The Stand By Me story seemed so tailor made for him.
Yeah, right up his alley.
Why weren't you in my head on that one, Kyle?
Yeah. I saw the sombreros and I
what the hell,
couldn't
Kyle?
help but pick Three Amigos.
I'm sorry, Ro. I should have went with the body. That was.
Damn. I'll have you know my sunglasses just fell in my coffee.
Oh, no. Are either salvageable?
Yes.
Okay, good.
He's going to suck on his glasses.
You gotta chug the coffee now.
We have one last director to talk about in multiverse theater, and we start with David Cronenberg. We're ending with David Cronenberg. Here are 3 projects that David Cronenberg may be considered. He may be considered directing Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise, an adaptation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, or Top Gun. Top Gun itself, a film with Tom Cruise. One of these projects he never really considered. Which one is it, Ro?
I'm going to say Mission Impossible.
All right, Ro is saying Mission Impossible. Nick, do you agree with your teammate?
You know what? I'll go Top Gun, just because at this point we.
Okay.
Spread it around, right?
Yeah, exactly. We'll
Nick chose the other Tom Cruise movie. Rose saying Mission Impossible. Nick saying Top Gun. What does Team Bad Edits think? Chris, let's start with you.
Well, let me see the Frankenstein picture. It's like just a biography. Their hairstyle's exactly the same. Once again, I'm just sort of shooting in the dark here, but yeah, let's just run the board. I'm going to say the Frankenstein movie.
All right, Chris is saying Frankenstein was never considered by Cronenberg. And Kyle, what do you think? Last question, last answer of the night.
I'm going to double down on Frankenstein.
Okay.
Or, sorry, Frankenstein's monster. Oh, wait.
It's still called Frankenstein. It's still called Frankenstein. It's not called Frankenstein. All right, both members of Team Bad Eds are saying Frankenstein. Nick is saying Top Gun. Ro is saying Mission Impossible. And Ro gets the final point for his team. He never considered doing Mission Impossible. But he was considered for Top Gun, and he's always wanted to make a Frankenstein film. So never say never.
I figured if he did The Fly, he probably wanted to do.
Oh, did he?
Right. It's got elements. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Never mind then. Sorry, Kyle.
I didn't know who that director was, really.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah, he did The Fly. He did Crash. He did History of Violence.
Oh, wow. He's all over everything tonight.
All right. We do have a winner with a score of 18-15. Team Bad Edits moves into the finale. Congratulations, gentlemen. Another win in your belts.
Thank you, Shay. It's great to be here. You did a wonderful job with the show. And,
no need to kiss my ass anymore, sir.
Yeah,
you should have done that at the beginning.
And I'd like to thank my mom and
yeah. I'd like to thank Chris's coffee and sunglasses.
Team Nickflix Scuttlebutt. You held your own. I mean, these are 2 men that have played this game many, many times, and you held your own every step of the way. So
you guys did
kudos
close
to you.
the gap.
Yeah,
that second round just killed us. That was like the ooh boy.
Yeah,
we just
for sure.
That was fun.
Respectable 15 points.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
And you guys are welcome back anytime. Come back and add to your season total. You guys are officially on the season leaderboard now, so you're already in the ranks.
Well,
nice.
We'll have to come back as Team Scarif.
Yeah, there you go.
Change it up.
That's all for Filmwar. We have a new champion. All hail Team Bad Edits. Kyle and Chris, they're taking home a copy of The Italian Job on VHS and are moving into the final round of Team War.
Thank you.
Follow us on Bluesky at Filmwar. View our full video episodes at
Oh,
youtube.com/@Filmwar or at thefilmwar.com. Rate us, share us, kiss us, thrill us. Our Team War finale is in 2 weeks. Team Bad Edits returns to take on our other 2 first-round winners, Team Lamplighter and Team Swayze Hearts, for a very special prize. Nick, Ro, how can we find your shows?
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, Nickflix is on Twitter, Instagram, or Twitter, Instagram, Bluesky, everywhere you could find it like that. And then obviously, if you want to listen to it, it is on Apple and Spotify. So yeah, give me a follow. I just did my Jaws 50th anniversary one, which is a lot of fun. That Ro makes a little cameo on, and yeah, just give me a follow. And if you want to talk movies, shoot me a DM and we can chat about it.
Very cool. You went up to where they shot Jaws, right?
Yes, I actually got to see a couple locations really quick when Brody's running after his son when they're like sharks in the pond. I like walked those rocks.
That's very cool.
And they make it look like it's a decent run for Roy Scheider. It is a way longer run than if you actually started where he would have started. So I don't blame them for being like, yeah, we're not making you run this like block and a half worth of rocks, but. Martha's Vineyard, it was awesome. Got to meet Roy Scheider's nephew, or not Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw's nephew, who wrote a book about him. And it was a really good time. Yeah, definitely. Cool. I don't know what it's going to be like for the 51st anniversary, but for the 50th, they did it big. So it was a lot of fun.
It's a very great episode. Everybody should listen to that. And Ro, Scarif Scuttlebutt, tell us more.
Yeah, the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast is available wherever you download your other favorite podcasts. We are part of the Red 5 network. And just tell Siri or your smart speaker to play the latest Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast, and that's what you'll hear. Thank you.
Yeah, scream it at every device you have, please.
Smart or not.
Yeah, even if you've got a toaster sitting on the cover or something, yelling at it.
I would love to get a picture of people screaming at their toaster.
Yeah,
that'd be
Scarif Scuttlebutt. Play Scarif
Send it on
Scuttlebutt.
over.
Perfect. I thank you guys so much for being on the show. Any last words from anybody?
Goo goo dolls.
Kyle, we've been here before, buddy.
It's funnier every time.
Just do the truffle shuffle. That's
all right. Godspeed.
A 1,000-yard stare production.